Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be talking about collections in Python. So, collections are basically variables used to store multiple values. There are four types of collections in Python. We have dictionary, lists, tuples, and sets. So I already went through the trouble of writing down the code for the dictionary, and we will write the code for sets, tuples, and lists together. So, as for the dictionary collection is changeable and it's unordered, and it uses key value pairs, and it's very fast because of hashing. Hashing is basically where you use the key to find the value of whatever, to find the value that's stored in the key. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, to declare it and start out, we just use animals or a name for the variable, which is the collection, which is the dictionary. So, you use a name for it. In this case, I named it animals, and then equals, and then curly braces, and inside you could have a key and a value. So for the sea animal, we have a whale. For the land animal, we have a tiger. For the amphibian, we have a crocodile. And for the bird, we have an eagle. So, as for the normal way of accessing a value in a dictionary, you can use the key. So, in this case, we have print animals, and then you pass in bird. Bird is the key for eagle. Eagle is the value. So, print animals, and then you pass in bird. You run this code, and you get an eagle. If you change it to land, so you can see what the land animal is, you get tiger. Moving on. So it's safer to use the get method to access a value, so you don't get an error if it doesn't exist. Let me show you what I mean by that. So here we're trying to print animals.getBug. So we're trying to print the key is bug. We're trying to print it, and as you can see here, none of these keys are named bug, so it doesn't exist. But if you run the code, it'll just give you none. But if you write bug here, you will get an error. You will get an error because it does not exist. Moving on. Let me just fix this. Moving on. So, to print the keys only, this is a method we could use to print the keys only. So, print animals.keys. .keys is the method, so you print it, and dictionary keys, sea, land, amphibian, and birds. This is to print the keys only. So to print the keys and the values, you use print animals.items, which items is basically the key and the value, like I said. So I don't know why that didn't work the first time, but there you go. I think I didn't have parentheses maybe, I'm not sure, but yeah, there you go. So as you can see, it prints out C, which is the key and the value, key and the value, key and its value, key and its value. So another way of to display the key value pairs, which is this is a longer, more complicated way, so I don't recommend this if you're a beginner, but you use a for loop. So for the key and value in animals dot items, so for all the items in animals, sorry, for all the keys and values in animals dot items, which means the keys and values, we want to print the key and the value. So as you can see, this does the same thing without the extra stuff. It just prints it out like that. So one way to change an item is to use the update method. So if you want, you can update it this way. If you run the code here. Oh, okay, sorry. I'm supposed to use a colon. I messed that up. So to update, we put animals.update, and then you put parentheses, and in the parentheses you put the curly braces. In the curly braces you put the key and the value. And to prove that to you, let me just print animals, and there you go. At the end you have the bug, which is the housefly. So to remove an element, you could do two things. First of all, you could pop it by its name. So pop bug, and you can't see that right now because it's not printing the new version. But if you print the new version, then as you can see, you don't have the bug. Or you could do another way, which is pop item. Pop item basically pops or removes the last inserted key value pairs. So try it again. Sorry, let me print it out. And again, it's gone. Or sorry, not now the bug is gone, and whatever the last one is, which is the bird. Okay, so to remove all items, of course, you just use clear, you run it, and it's empty as you can tell. So, moving on. Next is going to be lists. So, as for lists, they are ordered and changeable, or you could say mutable, which also means the same thing, changeable basically. And in lists, lists allow duplicates, and to start a list or to declare the list, you basically use the square brackets. So it's the same thing. You just put animals as, you know, whatever you want your name to be. For me, I'm going to use animals, and then tigers. Let me just add. So for the lists, we have a couple methods, and you can actually see the attributes and methods of a list by typing print dir, which stands for directory, and then animals. Let me just turn all this into a comment so that it doesn't interfere with what we're going to do next. So to print this, it's going to give you a list of all the attributes, which we'll probably get into in another video, and at the very end you can get to the methods for the list. So moving on, if you don't know what any of these mean, you could also do something else. Print help animals, and then you run it, and then here you could get a list of everything, of all the attributes and the attributes and the methods for the animals list, methods and attributes and methods you can do to this list. So like copy returns a shell copy of the list, count, basically you could read through all of it and just learn more about it. Next, print len of animals. Basically, I'm sure you can guess what this does. It prints the length of animals. So we have 4 animals, so the length is 4. Okay, so next is going to be checking if a key or an element is stored in this list. So print, say, tiger in animals. So if this is true, it'll be true. If we say bug, it'll be false. Moving on. Print animals so it'll print the first element in the list animals. So in this case it'll print tiger. Moving on. So you could actually replace an item as well. by typing the name, and then if you want to replace this one, you put 0, this one is 1, 2, 3. So let's replace the horse, so 2, because computers start at 0, so 0, 1, 2. So if we want to replace the horse, we do that, and then we say we're going to replace it with a turtle. Damn, I can't spell. So there you go. And we just print animals. As you can see, the horse has been replaced with a turtle. Next, we can append. Append is basically just adding to the end. So append turtle. As you can see, at the end there's a turtle. You can also remove an item. So animals dot. You can also see all the attributes and methods from here. If you forget something, they usually just pop up when you write the beginning of it. So here, remove, as you can see, it just shows it for you. You could just press enter and remove, and then say tiger, and then you run it. Tiger is no longer there. Okay, and then we could also insert animals dot insert, and then you can insert it at whichever index you want. So in this case, we are going to be inserting at 1, comma, let's say turtle. So at index 1, we're going to be replacing it with turtle. So there you go. Or sorry. You're not going to be replacing, you're going to be inserting. Sorry, my bad. So at 1, we're going to be inserting turtle. So it's going to be 0, and then 1 is going to be turtle, and then it's going to go on with the rest. Okay, cool. Next is going to be sort. Animals dot sort. So when you do this, it's going to sort them out in alphabetical order. So H is first, and then L, and T, and then W. You could also do something. See, if you do this, you could also reverse, right? And if this is commented out, then there's no use of reversing it because they are unordered. So it's always going to be weird, right? It's just going to be reversed in the order that you inserted all the values in. But if you want it to be reversed in alphabetical order, then you have to sort it first and then you reverse it, and there you go. It starts with W, T, L, H. Moving on. You could also clear, again, of course, animals dot clear, and then you print the animals and it's empty. You could also find the index of the animal you're looking for. So print animals dot index, and then say you're looking for a tiger. It's at 0, and as you can see here, it's at 0 because it's the first one. And then you can also print how many times an element is in that list. So because as you remember, it allows duplicates. So animals dot count, and then tiger. So here's gonna return 1, but if we say, oh no, if we have 2, it's going to return 2, but we only want 1 for now. So moving on. I think that's it for the lists. Now we're going to be going into sets. So, as for sets, basically for sets you use curly braces, and they are unordered. So, the list was ordered. Sets are unordered and immutable, which means they are unchangeable, but you can add or remove elements. Also, it allows no duplicates. Okay, so let's do this again, except in this case I'm just gonna do this, then this, do this. So this is now a set. So for sets, we have a couple methods as well. You could do the same thing in terms of this, in terms of all of these methods, you could do the same thing, which is pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to go through them again. But basically, some more methods. And just as a reminder, you could print. Okay, so notice how I got an error here. Why did I get an error? I got an error because they are unordered. So each time the object is gonna be subscriptable. Basically, it's never gonna be the same object. Like as you can tell, let me show you. Print animals. Okay. Tiger, horse, wolf, lion. Print animals again. Lion, tiger, horse, wolf. Print again. It's different order. Print again. They're always different orders. It's just random orders. So if you try to print some kind of index, it's going to give you an error because they're not always at the same index, so that's just weird. You could also, like we said, you could add, say add a cow, print animals, and you have a cow. I don't know why this says none. I'm not sure what. Oh, I don't need to have a print statement there. Okay, so at the end you have a cow. You could also remove. I don't know why I'm typing print first. It's just a habit at this point. Remove cow. You run it again, cow is gone. Yeah, we added a cow and then removed it and then we displayed animals. Okay, moving on. You could also pop dot pop, and as you can tell, we removed the tiger in this case. So each time it'll just remove something random. So in this case it's a tiger, in this case it's the wolf, and in this case it's the tiger again. And again, it's always in different order. So we can also clear animals.clear, and it's just an empty set. So moving on, we are now going to be talking about tuples or tuples or whatever you want to call it. So for tuples, we can declare it by using parentheses, and they are ordered and immutable, so you cannot change them. Duplicates are okay, and these are faster than lists. So if you care about speed, in the future, maybe if you're writing a big program, it's better to use tuples if you don't care about how that it's immutable. Because here, this is ordered and mutable. This is ordered and immutable. So if you don't care about changing anything later, it's more efficient to use tuples instead of lists. So to use it, like I said, we use parentheses. So here, I'll use parentheses, and there you go. You have a tuple. So for a tuple, you have the same thing. You can use these as well here. So for this, we're going to be print some methods. I'm going to be showing you guys some methods basically. So for here, we can print animals, and then at the index. So for the animal, say lion, we want to check the index of lion. Where is lion at? Lion is at 3, so 0, 1, 2, 3. Great. So we also want to count how many times lion is there. So print animals dot count, and then lion. We only have lion one time, so it's just gonna return 1. Okay, great. So next, you could also print animals this way, or you can print it another way, which is for animal in animals print animal. So this is to get it in this way, and this is this is to get it this way. So you can also, like, usually in for loops you would see for x in animals print x, which is the same thing. It does not matter at all as long as this is the variable name that you want to print from. But in this case, I want to use animal so that it's easier to understand. The way I think of it is like for each animal in animals, we want to print the animal, and then it just iterates through it and it's there. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys learned something new today. If you did, please like and subscribe and comment on what you would like to see some more of, and have a great day.